Hello, good people. Hello, bad people. Hello, anyone who want to learn more about SEO. Especially, we are going to touch about product management, how you can get results. And I'm so excited to discuss this topic. You, Gustavo Pelogia, how are you?
Very good. How are you doing? How's everybody doing? Hi there.
Yeah, I'm doing great. I hope my audience is doing great as well because today we have Tuesday, a great day. But I remember when I started one project because of chasing money. I felt that I can use this gap, but after some time I got it. When I hated Monday and loved Friday, I decided to quit. And today I do everything if I enjoy the process. And for me, it doesn't matter Tuesday, Monday, Friday, Sunday evening, Saturday morning. I love all days, all moments because if you have your loving job, then you can enjoy. Because before we start, just tell more about yourself, experience, background, and anything that can tell our listeners why you're enjoying SEO and your job.
Sure. So, hi everyone. I'm Gus Pelogia. I've been doing SEO for 12 years now. I am originally from Brazil, but I'm based in Ireland since 6, 7 years ago. And I've worked in house, I've worked in agencies, I've done link building, local SEO, technical, a bit of everything, wrote award entries, judged awards. And now I worked at Indeed as an SEO product manager.
Yeah, nice, nice. Okay, I wanna start from the first question. Especially, I have this concern. Many people are asking me about that when e-commerce website has a lot of products, many items, probably plus 100K or a million, a lot of them. So, can you tell how to create the right strategy? Because it's hard to cover all topics, all products, but we need to find the right way where to go. So, can you tell how to do it?
Yeah, so I think the area that I have the least experience is e-commerce. But if a client starts with me tomorrow and I have to find that answer, I think one way to do things would be to classify what types of products you have and how we can create different connections between them. Let's say things like maybe different colors. You probably don't want Google to index all of those different pages, or if there are different ways to connect products based on different types of entities, right? Maybe they belong not just to a category of dresses or t-shirts, but maybe you can classify them on um, types of outfits, as a night out outfit, as a wedding outfit, as a party outfit. I think there are a lot of ways to explore things, and looking at my experience at Indeed, something that was completely new to me was to have a common taxonomy across all the products. So there are certain entities that we identified through an ID that they will be identifiable across different types of pages. So let's say if a job is about software engineering and we have blog posts, they also have that same type of tagging, so it can connect those different things. So a job can be related to a blog post, or it can be related to a salaries page or to a company. And having that common identifier, it will open a lot of doors to do really cool stuff.
Yeah, nice, interesting. Uh, let's talk about your method, how to craft the right strategy, and let me explain why I'm asking about that. Because I remember many years ago, like 12 years ago, when I started my digital journey, I had a team of specialists who did everything. For example, if someone wrote content, submitted, promoted, some of them even sell this content. Today I have a team of specialists. For example, a writer who can write, an editor who can edit, designer who can draw content. I mean, like this design. Content managers, developers, PR specialists, link builders. So it's complex today. It's not like many years ago because of competition. It's not because Google changed the game of many these updates, because of competitors. Plus 2 billion websites online. So, can you tell your methods how to craft this right strategy, considering that we have a team of specialists and we need to manage all of them?
Yeah. I think for me, everything it starts with what we call a PRD, a product requirements document. And even though this is made for products, it's not something invented. I'm simply using things that were in front of me and crafting to the things that I need to do. And I create those for product initiatives that we might talk about it later. But I feel this type of documents can also be used for content strategy or for any kind of digital marketing strategy. Like a document like this would have things like, this is the background, this is what we want to do, this is the technical depth, right? Maybe we want to do something with content that will also require some development to, I don't know, find the prices for a product, or to add specific structured data for different page types. And those things can be on the blue sky, the things you want to do, but they may not exist. And the whole project only works if all of those elements actually are together. And for me, the hypothesis or the actual impact that you want to prove from that initiative, it's really critical to convince people to get on board and understand what they're doing, right? Because I think one of the fights we often have with developers will be that we just want to do something because Google said so, or because this is a way to do it. And developers want to understand why, and they want to find maybe a better way to do what you're suggesting. And so if there's really not a reason that they know we have to do this because of that, would be the same for us, right? If we are just doing for the sake of doing it, you kind of don't really have the same motivation to execute and even to make it better.
Yeah, and I'm interested about this fight because I'm trying to have the right communication with web developers, not only me. Yeah, sometimes we want to get more to get websites without errors, with high speed. We have core web vitals, many other things that can impact to the results. So can you tell how you communicate with web developers? I mean, like, yeah, that's okay, we can fight, but yeah, I'm not sure it's productive, if we fight.
Yeah.
Like Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk, they fight on social media. They are going to fight in cage, but right now they're fighting on social media, probably in the court. We will see. But I'm interested your method, how to communicate in the right way and to explain to web developers that it's important to do it. It's important to fix it.
Yeah, I think for me, something that really changed since I started Indeed is that I am part of the product team. And so I know what the developers are doing, right? My engineers are not just looking after SEO, but they're doing a lot of other things. They have some engineering mandates to keep the tech on the safest and the latest version. Maybe they're doing CMS improvements. Maybe they're doing a few things that are relevant for different teams. And having that visibility, it allows you to understand what can be done, maybe negotiate a little bit, and set your expectations. So because I sit with the product team, I'm there for the sprint planning. I am part of the daily stand-up, so I know what's going on, I know where their focus is, and I know what's happening on the sprint. So before, I never had that, so I would always be calling a favor, right? Hoping that they would have a bit of time to do this thing for me, and maybe follow up a week later because they answer, oh yeah, sure, we can do it. And 10 other things came over, and people that have a higher voice came in and said, oh, you have to do this because it's urgent, and your request just kind of died in the back. So being part of that team and understanding what's being done, having that face-to-face contact, for me, it was a game changer. Because they might not do everything that I want every sprint, but I know what are the essential things, and I go ahead, I go prepared and say, okay, I want this 4 tickets done or 5 tickets done. Can we do it? And then we can negotiate. Oh, maybe we can pick up this tree, maybe this one, and if we swap this, we swap that. But being part of the conversation allows you to have a bit of control and understanding of what's going on. So I think that's one really important point. And for me, the second point is just write good tickets. One request per ticket, make it really clear on what are the requirements for it, because sometimes it's obvious for us what something means, and you just assume the developer knows about this topic as well as much as you. So to give a recent example, I wrote a ticket about structured data, and oh yeah, we want to add this structured data. And a few days later, I caught them on a conversation about another structured data that is not related to SEO at all, but it's still information that is structured. So using the proper language and explaining what do you mean by structured data. This structured data means a template that will show connect information that is on the page, and if it's not on the page, it comes from this and this and this. So I would even put a screenshot of the design for the page and the structured data and say, you take the author name from the H2, you take the short bio from this paragraph, you take the picture from this, and it makes more sense for them, so they know what they're doing and they know where to look at.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know what can annoy more web developers. For example, if they get 10 tickets with one request or one ticket with 10 requests. So, when you open this CRM, you can see red marks, so you need to fix 10 tickets. But if you see only one, you can, forget or skip some other requests. Yeah, it depends. I wanna ask you about content creation. Today it's hard, especially if we have AI. I cooperate with many great experts who can write for Forbes, Investopedia, many other great websites, prominent websites, and all of them use AI. All of them, without any exception. After launching ChatGPT, today I spend more time checking content because for me it's important. I don't care it's AI or a human written. We need quality. And Fabrice Canel told me on my podcast, Bing doesn't care about AI. Bing cares about quality. I think Google is on the same boat today. Google changed this policy and we need high quality. So can you tell how to create high quality content for product items? I mean, like how to stand out from the rest in your product management.
I think I'm very curious to see what's going to happen with content now that essentially the game changed quite a lot. And I think in general we're going to get flooded with content that is lower than what we have now. If you will think that a lot of what we see is already, let's say, inspired by other content that is already online, now being able to do this in seconds, it might bring the quality a little lower. But I think for me, having a person reviewing it's still very essential. I think there are a few moments that it's easy to spot. Someone was talking with me on LinkedIn last week and sent a list of suggestions of topics that we could discuss. And you can, sniff from miles away. This is a AI generated. They gave me a list of 10 topics in 2 minutes of conversation. They are very lengthy. Like you can see how it's a structure as you would see on ChatGPT. So I think for me, a key part of the process is still having people reviewing that, like proper editors, not someone just giving a quick look into information, but a proper editor seeing if that information is accurate, maybe if the salary you were mentioned is accurate, if the job description does make sense. But I think the policy that both Bing and Google have, as you mentioned, to content being helpful to users, I think that's the final points that you need to find. So I don't have a proper answer for you, more than having a person, ideally someone that really knows about the topic behind that content to review and make sure that it actually makes sense for people.
Yeah, nice. I see that you are going to speak on Brighton SEO. My
Yeah.
congratulations. I think, yeah, it's the most well-known conference in SEO world. So, can you unhide what you are going to share on this conference? Probably you can give some insights about your future speech. I think some of my audience can be there and also interested to learn
Yeah.
more about that.
Hopefully some of you guys can make to Brighton and watch my talk. I'm gonna talk about being an SEO product manager and how to think like a PM and get out of the SEO bubble. I feel like a lot of what the SEO lingo or the SEO terminology is around things that are not necessarily important for the business. When you say visibility or sensor score or keyword position, those things don't necessarily translate into business. Into these are people that are interested in my product, or those are people that actually fill the form and they are a good lead, or they are people that are actually buying the product and fully converting. So I want to present a different way to look at this. And those are things that I'm learning as I work with PMs, part of their mentality, and some of my struggles to get initiatives out there, because I do have to pitch them to other PMs, and they do not buy higher visibility or higher rankings. They want to know how many more people will be here and what is the expected conversion rate of these activities. So I want to present, or I will present, how to write a product requirements document. We're going to go step by step on how to do one. And if all goes well, I'm going to give a template at the end as well, so people can copy or get inspired by what I have and create their own initiatives with the same mindset.
Yeah, nice, nice. And I'm interested about your role in Indeed. Can you tell what you actually do there and how you cooperate with other specialists? Because you mentioned a few times about that you're part of the team, and it's important to have united goals to any team. And I often see when salespeople don't want to share some insights, to give more data, and it's hard, especially SEO is not only to rank keyword positions. We need to bring sales, and for me, I don't care about traffic if it doesn't sell. And I remember when I spoke once with a webmaster who lost 400,000 traffic, a lot of traffic. It's hard to get this traffic, but he didn't lose any sales because this traffic didn't cover sales funnel, buying persona. So can you tell your methods, how to unite with sales funnel and to communicate with your team? Yeah, anything about Indeed and how you decide this issue.
Yeah. So on my day to day, I work with an SEO team, and so I'm both part of the SEO team and the product team. As I mentioned before, I do have daily stand-ups with engineers, and we work in sprints. So I think everything starts again with the product requirements document. That's where I propose an idea and I refine all I want to do. This document gets seen by other PMs, gets seen by my manager and engineers, so they will look at flaws and opportunities to improve things. And as we set on a list of a group of initiatives, then we start working on a roadmap, and we release an MVP as soon as we can, and we learn as things are going. So once those things are built, so let's say if we have an internal link module that we want to use for get pages indexed quickly, or if you want to just increase traffic to those pages, it's all it's going to start with this document. And I think that's the moment where everything gets really clear, because you will discover maybe with engineers that, we can only store 1,000 pages on this list because reason A, B, and C. So if we want to do it more, we need to do some other improvements. So okay, let's start with but the smaller one, and we go further as things start getting released. We can go into more tasks. As for conversions, I work with a PM that is responsible for conversions, and I think everything has to go in the same direction, right? So we try to accommodate for both strategies. So if we see that certain page types do have a higher conversion, we will do more SEO initiatives to bring those pages higher on the SERPs. And at the same time, this PM is looking into how can we increase the conversions once people are on the page. So there's a common roadmap between both teams, and we essentially have to work together, because a win for one is a win for everyone, really.
Do you divide responsibilities by pages? If we are talking about Indeed, it's a big website with 100 million traffic, a lot of traffic. I can't imagine, how much traffic you have. I can check out on HRS and I see plus 100 million traffic, a lot of traffic. So can you tell your responsibilities to choose specific pages? Because if you promote website with 100 pages, it's not hard. Yeah, you can pay attention to the entire website. But if you have many pages, it takes time to choose priority. So tell how you divide responsibilities for specific pages.
Yeah, so we will have different teams for different products, and products will have their own SEO teams as well. And then things get a lot more manageable. I look after some of our content products, so I'm not on the day-to-day of our core business, but I do a lot of things that will support the growing of job search, and essentially help people get jobs.
Yeah, nice. I think if we are talking about Indeed, this website doesn't need link building, in most cases, because big websites don't need it, because authority is high and it's well-known brand. But can you tell if I'm wrong? Do you use any link building for Indeed or PR or anything that can help to increase this extremely high authority?
There is PR happening from PR teams. I'm not involved with any of that.
Okay.
But we do see all sorts of different pages getting picked up on sometimes university websites, or just getting picked up on the news in different things. So it's not something that I pursue, but we know that those links happen for other reasons than SEO.
Yeah, love it. I wanna ask about your experience. I found that we usually get high results with clients who understand SEO. So if they understand, we can speak one language to achieve results. We know why we need to create high quality content, what kind of content to create, why it's important to think more about traffic value than getting more traffic. And can you tell, let's imagine you started today from scratch without any experience, knowledge, skills. You are still in Brazil, forget about your other experience. So what will you do today if you start from scratch?
One thing that I did before I became an SEO, and I didn't know I was doing SEO, was to start my own website. So not Brazil, but the first place that I moved out of Brazil was Argentina. And I knew how to make websites in WordPress. Not a developer, but knew how to set up a server and install a WordPress and pick a template. And I started a website about the things that I had to learn as a Brazilian moving to Argentina. So things like, how do you get your public transport card? How to get your social security number? How to find a job? How to find a house? All the struggles that you have when you move to a new country. And after a while, the website was there. I was happy that I knew how to buy my own domain and all those things that not a lot of people knew 12 years ago, or at least not like today. And a few months later, I think I discovered Search Console and I just added there because, we'll install it. I think I read somewhere about it. And a while later, I got my first job in SEO. And as I was going through my first week reading the Moz guide to SEO and realizing that I was already doing some of these things, it was very interesting to have data that it was not from a client. It was actually for things that I was writing because I could just go and make changes at any time, right? So if I see that I started appearing about searches about the nightclubs, like, okay, I can write about a nightclub in this neighborhood and this other one, because I've been to them. And, there's really not a lot of information about that in Portuguese, but you do have a good demand of Brazilians that go on holidays to Argentina. So starting your own website, I think it's very nice on an area that you're passionate about, not really thinking about SEO per se, because if I was just thinking about keywords, I would not have written about the things that I knew about and the things that I liked, and they performed really well. I think because I managed to write long form content without thinking about words, without getting bored about it, and I was really proud of every page that I was putting out there. So do start a website on something that you're passionate about, break the website, add structured data, try different plugins, try to make changes. I had many times that friends came to save me because I deleted a WordPress installation, or I spent hours and hours trying to add a HTTPS on the websites that I think even had to buy back in the days, and I completely broke the website and had to beg for a friend to solve
Yeah.
that problem for me, because I definitely didn't know how to fix it. But learning how to do those things did help me a lot to estimate the size of a work, even when I'm dealing with clients now, right? So I know that, okay, we can just change a few, add a couple of paragraphs on an article if it already talks about that topic. I've done it. I'm not just following, saying that because I read somewhere, but I spent enough time on a passion project testing those things myself.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Because practice makes miracles. I can read 100 books how to play soccer. I can read 1,000 articles how to play soccer. Listen 1,000 podcasts how to play soccer. But I can't compete with players who play soccer. So
You got to kick the ball.
yeah, I think Leo Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, many others prefer to kick a ball 10,000 times a day than to read a new article how to play soccer. It's the same with SEO. Yeah, you
Yeah,
need to
and I
make
think
your. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and I think to keep on this analogy, I think like the having the experience as close as possible to the real world, it's really important as well, right? So um, when I go to the stadium to watch my team, Palmeiras, back in Brazil, I think it's the moment that you have a dimension of the pressure that the players might feel. Like you have 50,000 people that are doing nothing
Yeah,
but looking at you, and they are always screaming on your favor or they're screaming against you. And I'm thinking now, like I spoke in events for 300, 400 people, and it was exciting but scary at the same time. I cannot imagine what is the pressure of 40,000 people that are looking at you. And depending where you are, all of them want you to fail. And, a lot of times you manage to deal with that stress and you beat all of these people and win a match, even when you're playing away. But that only comes with experience, right? So if I go to the stadium tomorrow and I love football, but I suck at it, and I will play even worse than what I would play if I'm just on a back garden or kicking a ball with a friend because of the pressure. So if you've done things with your website and you start getting maybe smaller clients and things keep growing, you're gonna get less scared and more confident about the bigger challenge that will come towards you.
yeah, yeah. I can imagine this pressure. I remember when Leo Messi decided to quit in national team, then all nation asked him, please get back. Because before that, all nation blamed him because he couldn't hit the goal in the final. But when they got it that Leo Messi quit, wow, what they can do without him, how they can win this World Cup. And we can see today he won this World Cup with Argentina. So yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah.
I think everyone, even me as a Brazilian, wanted to win to him this time.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. Okay. Let's talk about mistakes. You mentioned about failure. I think failing is part of the process. I fail a lot, many times, and I like that you mentioned about passion. You need to create website where you are passionate about. And yeah, I remember when I started this project uh, like 5 years ago, even more, yeah, like 7 years ago, yeah. But I found the gap in the market. I decided to hire a team of specialists. I invested a lot of money, resources, but after 3 years, I quit. I gave up because I got it. It's not my passion. I hated Monday. I loved Friday, and yeah, it's the best way what you can do. Just leave. And for me, that's okay if you give up because of wrong choice before. And I remember Neil Patel shared the same experience when he decided to buy a domain about poker because he found that he can rank this website to earn money, but he didn't know anything about poker. He didn't play poker. He was passionate about marketing, and yeah, he quit as well. That's okay. That's normal. And I want to ask about mistakes. I think some mistakes we can't avoid. We need to do it. For example, I started PR campaigns. I wrote a bunch of press releases. I pitched them and got zero mentions, zero results. But I learned how it works. I learned the process. And then I hired a team of specialists who can write press releases. I hired a team of people who can pitch them to the right journalists. And we got mentioned on CNN, Forbes, many other websites because of having the right process. Uh, but I want to know about mistakes that we can avoid. Can you list mistakes that marketers, webmasters still do, and your tips how to find another way?
Yes. Okay. So it's a very interesting question, and I feel like I need to think a minute about. So I think there are a lot of little mistakes that we might commit on the day to day. So even today, I was writing a ticket for something we want to release, and the first thing in the morning, the engineer starts the working hours in US, and he's like, "Oh, these are actually two tickets you have to break down," and he already did it for me. So I can see the over time, over the last year and a half, my tickets would be a lot more simple and would require a lot more questions from them. So I started paying attention on what are the mistakes that I'm committing. But if you look at mistakes that I think people keep committing over and over, it might be maybe believing some myths in SEO and not testing those things themselves. So you can actually manage and understand if it has an impact or if it doesn't. One thing that it's a bit of a rant, it's not really SEO, but it's digital marketing. I cannot look at another post that compares King Charles versus Ozzy Osbourne and saying that they are completely different personas. And they say, oh, same age, they both live in a castle, they go to holidays the same place. And I keep looking at that post over and over, and I cannot see that thing anymore. Because despite one being a king and one being a crazy rock and roll musician, I don't think they're that different on that point, right? They both want the best medical care. They both travel first class. They both eat in the best restaurants. So they have a lot of things in common other than what they do for life that is very different. But they probably go to the same social events, the same charities, and might bump each other in the restaurant. So it's not a mistake that a lot of people can avoid, but only the people that keep writing that post over and over as something new. Um, I'm trying to think things that people keep committing, mistakes that happen all the time. Probably not spending enough time reading about the business you are promoting.
Yeah.
If you work in an agency, you probably don't have a lot of time, and you might just end up doing a lot of things too quickly. And maybe you have to look back. I remember putting working with hotels and seeing a colleague putting together a list of keywords and say, oh, okay, this is the opportunity. And quickly realizing, okay, we need to look at the SERP results because we're not going to rank for hotels in London because all the top 10 results um, are travel agencies. So if you are just one hotel, that keyword does not belong to you. You need to be a bit more niche. Maybe you appear in the local pack. Maybe there are different ways, but that plain list of keywords, that's not going to work. You're never going to rank for hotels in London if you're just one hotel because all the results are different. So maybe doing some more of that analysis. What type of page is ranking? What kind of experience is delivered on that page? Those are very interesting things that you can do. Maybe read a bit of the SEMrush has a split test tool, an A/B SEO test tool, and Search Pilot has one as well. And they do a lot of case studies that will test different things in content. I saw one recently that it was about they added a table of I think pros and cons on a page and on a group of pages, and then those pages started ranking really well. And that's not something that necessarily you would look as an SEO and say, oh, let's put a table here. It's not really about putting a table. It's about the comparison that you give, and Google somehow found a way to understand that information, digest as this is relevant for users. Maybe if you already had that written on the content, but because it's structured in a different way, it has a different impact. So reading, studying the SERPs a bit more, and spending more time looking at your client's website uh, from the user perspective and not just from the business perspective. Um, and I remember doing this and getting very annoyed. I'm looking now for someone to do some work in my house, and you get those long descriptions about how great they are, and things that are not really about. Okay, I want to understand how much it costs to sand all the floor in my house and make it pretty. So I don't care about the all the different areas that you attend, or like that kind of that SEO copy that shows up from time to time. So put yourself on the other side and see if that page is good enough to convert.
Nice. Yeah. And I have the final question about the topic that I can't ignore. Sorry for that. But AI is a hot topic. It's not, probably it's not trend. It's a regular tool today. So, yeah. I want to ask you how Indeed can adapt AI. It's interesting. I spoke with Jeff Coyle, and he told me in the future we will have three companies. The first company will develop AI, the second company will implement, and the third will be obsolete, who can leave the trade. And I think websites like Indeed, they adopt AI a lot. So tell your methods how to adopt AI and any tips how other companies can do it.
Yes. So I'm probably not in a position to give you a lot of details about any AI use. We do use it in different levels, and I think that's how far I can go. But I do use on my day to day on to do a few boring tasks to me. So
Mhm.
um, I'm using to, let's say I'm giving a structured data that is not loading perfectly or has two separate elements. I will provide the data and say, hey, can you merge those two and have just one piece for me? Or if there's something broken here, I had recently a list of anchor tags and a list of URLs that I needed to put in a format on a JSON format, and just going on a sheet or on a document and adding quote quote and comma for hundreds of lines would take me ages, and it took me 5 seconds. I managed to do that maybe half an hour before triage, and the ticket was there in time and it was done on time. So I think it's about how you use it. There's no way to escape it. I have my own rants about it, and I've seen some other people having their rants. They are valid, but I think at this point is or you join the game or not on the game. So I'm on the same opinion as you. We have to take advantage of what's in here and use it the best way we can. So find the places that it work for you. Learn how to refine your queries and get everything that you can, and keep looking, making sure that the information makes sense. I think will take a long time for me to just blindly trust, and probably should never blindly trust on what's coming up back, because it's very easy to trick it and say, oh, this was wrong. Oh yeah, this was actually wrong. And it just gives you something back. Understand a bit of how it works, right? Because it doesn't really know what is correct or what is not correct. It's trying to guess what are the potential next words that will come one after the other. So it's just trained on what people wrote before. So if there's a lot of misinformation about a topic, the AI will just say more about that same misinformation.
Nice. Awesome. Love it. Valuable. It's a big pleasure to get on my show to learn from you. I'm looking for highlights from Brighton SEO. Interesting. I will share with my audience. Tell the best way how to keep learning from you, how to reach out to you, how to follow you.
Yeah, so you can see my handle on the screen. That's my handle on Twitter. I was on Threads, but got blocked. But it's my full name, Gustavo Pelogia. You can follow me there as well. Or you can find me on LinkedIn. I hang between Twitter and LinkedIn. Depends what's going on in one or another. I bounce between two, but you can find me on both places. I do write about SEO product management from time to time on my website, which is pelogia.it. I have an Italian background, and IT is just information technology. That's why I picked this domain, which now I keep thinking, should I change to .com and make it rank better? But there'll be a separate conversation for another day.
Got it. Nice. Awesome. Guys, you can find links to all mentioned resources in the description below. Listen us on Apple, Google, Spotify. Thanks again for your time. Love it. Valuable. Welcome back anytime to share more valuable insights. It's awesome. My audience loves value. I love value as well. I'm a student on this life. Keep learning every single day. Looking for these highlights. Of course, I will share on my LinkedIn and other social media. And thanks a lot, guys, for listening and watching us.
No, thank you. And thank you, everyone who is watching or listening live or a recording on the podcast later. Get in touch if I can help you with anything. I'm also a mentor on Growth Mentor, growthmentor.com. You have to be a member, but the sessions with me and with a lot of people are free. A lot of other people are free, so you are welcome to join us. And if you want a one-on-one session with me to talk about strategy or things that you are doing or challenge that you have, I'll be glad to help.
Nice. Okay, guys, love you. See you.